Hello y'all, I'm back again for another video. So this video is going to be about the blocking. And in the past, I was actually a believer that you don't need to do that. I really felt that way. I felt at that time, and I've done videos about it in the past, I felt like when you block someone, you're not being more intentional. You're using the block button to do the job for you instead of putting in the work and just having the strength to ignore the call, right? However, my views have changed as far as what block really means. And I'm going to put this video under emotional survival tips as well, y'all. And then I will add it to my sad management playlist. So I have two playlists, the emotional survival tips and the sad management playlist. I have many other playlists as well. I don't mean that I have two playlists literally, right? So this video, as far as the blocking, so when you're trying to survive and you're going through a process, it's very important that you have a standard. So there's a situation where this individual, I found it quite interesting when I really thought about this. Once I got off this conversation on the phone with this individual, right? And it's a relative, it's a blood relative that I was having this conversation with. And my mistake was when I was at a funeral for another relative. Y'all got to work on this too. Just work on this. When someone does something major that violates your safety and your boundaries, especially if they are not a child, this is not your child, they don't live in your home. Your job is not to mother them. Your job is not to father them. You're not their guardian. You haven't adopted this person. This person is almost the same age as you. When I look back in hindsight, when I felt violated by her and she was screaming and hollering at me because I tripped over her foot when I was getting out of the bed, I should have cut the contact at that point, but I didn't really do that. I continued to engage in the conversations, and we live out of state anyway, so it's not like we're around each other every day. But what I found was this: she never said I'm sorry or apologize, and people won't always do that. So when they don't apologize, just notice it. That's all. You're not their parent. It's not your job to make them apologize. So this particular sister, she called me to get advice, and I'm calling her a sister as in just generic, okay? Just to say this sister. She could be a cousin, she could be a biological sister, she could be any woman, just this particular sister. So she called me to get some advice because she was having a situation with a coworker. And I found it interesting how she was reading me these texts, right? And this coworker had a crisis with her teenage daughter. Okay, and so this particular relative was telling me she was checking on her. She was asking her, is she okay? Just genuinely checking on her. It seemed genuine. I mean, this particular relative, in my opinion, she's always been closer to her friends than her family anyway. That's just my opinion. She's never really tried to really participate in my kids' lives, not on a real level, okay? And these are things that when you have sisters and brothers and cousins and stuff, especially siblings, if you try to be an auntie or uncle to your siblings' kids, what that does, that actually strengthens the sibling relationship or the brother-sister relationship, sister-sister, brother-brother, however which way it goes between the siblings. However, You can't make somebody be an auntie or uncle. So during this conversation, she was reading these texts to me, because it was really an interesting conversation. I learned a lot as well, y'all. And so something told me to ask her, well, what was your response to her text? There was no profanity, no violence or anything in these texts. So she read me her text, right? That she responded to this friend of hers. And she apologized to this friend for breaking a boundary. But check this out. This is what really kind of got me once I got off the phone call and realized it later. Not right away when I got off the call, because I think when I got off the call, I started doing some household chores. So it dawned on me. I said, wow, she actually apologized. And in that situation, she didn't really owe her an apology because she was genuinely being nice. So I said, she apologizes to someone that's able to gaslight her and play with her mind when she's actually done a nice deed and said, how's your child feeling? How's everything going? But when she does something bad, or when she had the outburst on me when we were out of state, all because I got out of the bed half asleep and tripped over this woman's foot, y'all. She had her big old foot all out, okay? She never apologized for that. So it was interesting because I'm like, she apologizes when she's nice, but she doesn't apologize when she's done something to me bad. Maybe she apologizes to other people, but it was just an interesting dynamic. So y'all, this is a tip. When you're engaging in conversations with people, ask them to read their part of what they sent back to the person. If they're reading you a text and getting advice from you, say, by the way, can you read me what your text said? And so that's how I came to the conclusion. I said, wow, she kind of like is apologizing at the wrong time. Like, if I checked on you, I don't really owe you an apology. I would say, I'm sorry it bothered you, but I'm genuinely with a good heart. You the one came to me and said something is going on with your daughter or your son. So you came to me with your problem and I just said, are you okay? And I showed concern. That's not something I would apologize to somebody for, because I don't owe somebody an apology when something comes out of the goodness or comes out of a good place in my soul. However, I would definitely owe them an apology is if their relative passed away that was closer in blood relation and I was screaming and hollering at them because they got out of their bed and tripped over my leg that I had in the way, because she had her leg in the way. I mean, me, I would have not had my legs out like that anyway. So because I'm going through this process and I'm trying to better my relations with myself and others around me, and I want to be a better person, I click block, y'all. I don't need that in my life. And somehow, and it doesn't mean I don't have to ever talk to the person, but for right now, utilize the block button more so you can get free of these type of demonic spirits, so you can move on to your life, move on with your life, y'all, and earn more money. That's what it's going to do. It's going to make you earn more money. Financial advancement and success is key here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Click that block button. And I just gave you a good example of why to do it, y'all. I love y'all. Thank you. Bye.